Hey everyone, Happy New Year. I hope it's starting off great. I am here in my bedroom with my two cats. I chose this space because today we're going to be talking about sleep. Actually, all month on these Monday musings, we're going to be talking about sleep. So I'm breaking it up into 4 classes. Today is all about finding your rhythm. So if you haven't been here before, my name is Brandy Falcon from Falcon Healing Arts. I'm an acupuncturist, a doTERRA wellness advocate, and a yoga instructor. And teaching people how to sleep better has been a major part of my work. And I help families with other modern health challenges as well. So we were together about 3 weeks ago and I was talking about winter wellness tips. I hope that you are still doing well. Our family has not been sick yet, so thank goodness. I actually thought I was getting sick and I was like, oh no, I just did a live and why would they listen to me now? But of course, everyone is human. And I would be apologizing if I did get sick and ask for your forgiveness. But we are well. I am happy to report. So hope you are as well. And but I realized that those tips did not include sleeping better. And in the wintertime is when we should be getting our deepest sleep, since we have the most darkness, less light, we are more wired to be in bed, more so than in the summertime, to really rest and rejuvenate deeply with sleep. So I have a lot of personal experience with this. I have had sleep issues all my life. And I was one of, I think it's 60 million people in America who experience insomnia. And it's important to handle. Being deprived of sleep can not only appeal to your vanity, I'm going to appeal to your vanity here, it can make you age quicker. It can make you put on more weight. But there are other things, other physiological things that happen as well. Of course, you feel more irritable when you don't get enough sleep. You might be more challenging to be around with your family or friends. And it has been shown that people are more prone to develop diabetes and cancer when they are not sleeping well, and other serious diseases. Muscle stiffness and brain fog, of course, can happen too if you're not getting enough sleep. So it's something you definitely want to try resolving. It's definitely something you don't want to rely on Western medicine to treat. This is one area where us alternative medicine practitioners tend to shine, using more natural remedies. There are certainly very effective sleep pills on the market that will knock you out, but there are serious side effects and there's addiction. You don't want to be relying on a pill, since the root cause is mainly that your circadian rhythm is off. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But just wanted to give you a bit more info about my personal story. Again, I've been having sleep issues all my life. Throughout my whole childhood, I was a light, restless sleeper, and I actually had nightmares very often. And even into my teenage years, I was still climbing in bed with my mom. She was a single mom. We were all really close. I would start out in my bed, and if I woke up with a nightmare, she welcomed me in her bed so I can sleep soundly the rest of the night. And I would have to sleep in because it really disturbed my sleep that much that I needed to catch up. So that was adolescence. And then in my 20s, I was actually putting myself through my undergraduate schooling. This was something I had to do. Unfortunately, I relied on coffee and cigarettes to get me through. which, you know, in your 20s, you don't think about the long-term effects. It did start to catch up with me, but it took 2 car accidents to make me finally realize that I had a major sleeping problem. I was going to school, I would have classes. So I studied molecular biology, actually. I was studying to be a genetic counselor and then went another way into biotech later. But I was studying some pretty hard classes. I had 7 a.m. labs. So again, I would rely on caffeine to get me up and going, to be bright enough to go through my labs coherently without any accidents. But then I would go to work afterwards, and I worked swing shift. So I would work, I don't know the hours, but then I would get home and eat some more, usually watch TV, even before I did my homework. So very bad habits. I would go to sleep very late and then do it all over again. Wake up early in the morning, much less than 8 hours sleep, because the caffeine worked to pick me up. But then I had a car accident in the parking garage one day at school. Luckily, this was at the end of my schooling, probably the last few semesters is when it happened. And then another time I was driving to work and there was stop and go traffic and I hit a car as well. So both of them, both of these accidents were my fault. They were very minor. It was just a momentary brain lapse, or slow reaction time, really, where I just wasn't alert enough, didn't brake fast enough, and got in an accident. So I really started to wean off of caffeine, and then I started having the opposite problem. So I had a hard time sleeping. I would have a hard time falling asleep, and then I would wake up throughout the night. So this continued for quite a while, this swing of highs and lows of alertness, before I finally figured out a routine that worked for me. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. There's not one trick, but working to regulate your circadian rhythm would be the first step. So today we're going to talk about that. Next week, we're going to talk about using essential oils for sleep. The following week, we'll talk about Chinese medicine and acupressure that you could do for yourself to help you sleep. And then the last week, I am hoping to use my yoga space at Peninsula Community Center and teach you a little yoga sequence that you can do at night before bed. So there's 2 main things that we need to do to regulate circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm is regulated by the melatonin production. Our body secretes this, but it's in response to the sun. When the sun goes down, we come inside, we start to slow our activity, melatonin is released. We're supposed to listen to that. We're supposed to get into bed. And then when the sun rises in the morning, our body experiences more light and we wake up. So this should be happening automatically. And usually it's between 7 to 9 hours sleep. That's a good amount for most of us. So going to bed early and waking up with the sun. So going to bed by 10 p.m. is what most research shows is the magical time to go to sleep. I think it's starting at 11. That soon you're actually needing deeper sleep. You're going into deeper cycles for those rejuvenating periods of rest. And I know this may sound like a drag because many of us, after we put the kids to sleep, we like to stay up and do some work. I am completely guilty of that. And it's been a challenge for me as well still to get to bed by 10 a.m. Last night it was 11, so it's not that far off, but there is still work. Hi, Crossy. And yes, so you might need to adjust your caffeine intake in order to go to bed that early. I, again, am super sensitive to caffeine. Also, I mean, not just in coffee, but in chocolate. I don't drink soda anymore, but I was sensitive to it in soda. So you may really want to look at where you're getting caffeine and try to wean off of that if you're having sleep issues. Again, sorry it's a drag, but your health will benefit if you experiment with this. Also, to get to bed by 10 a.m. and just start to slow down to experience that natural melatonin surge, you want to have a lower protein dinner. Our liver is what processes protein, fat, toxins as well. So having a lower protein dinner is easier on your digestion. If you're waking around 2 to 3 a.m., actually 1 to 3 a.m., we consider that the liver time in Chinese medicine, and we'll be talking about this more when we do the Chinese medicine week. When you wake up, that usually means that your liver is stressed during that time of night. So that may mean that it's having a hard time digesting your meal. So the next step is to adjust your alcohol intake at night for the same reason. Your liver is going to be working overtime by trying to process the alcohol. So I know a lot of people think that that actually helps them sleep. It may help you get to sleep sooner if you have a little drink. But most likely it's not going to be deep sleep, and I would bet that you're still waking up quite often during the night as your liver is trying to metabolize that. You might also be magnesium deficient. Calcium deficiency also goes with that. So you can look into taking a whole food vitamin that has those. Most of us need to be on a wide range of vitamins, so a whole food vitamin complex. But if you just want to add more magnesium in, certainly you can do that with a supplement, but you can also take an Epsom salt bath, which is glorious. And I have a few each week. Actually, it has been a week, so I need to get back on that. Thank you for the accountability. And then, of course, adding some essential oils to that will help too. And we'll talk about that next week. So magnesium sulfate or magnesium chloride is what Epsom salt consists of. And our skin easily absorbs the magnesium and helps us sleep better. Muscular tension can also keep us awake. And again, we'll be talking about this more with our yoga session that we'll be doing this last week of January. I always need to do a yoga session at night before bed because quite often it's muscle tension that keeps me awake. So it could be from exercise, it could be from habitual movements like being on a computer, looking at your phone, just being stressed. Our shoulders tend to come up toward our ears, our neck gets shorter, and it's this neck tension here in the back of the neck near the occiput. I actually get a lot in my chest that impedes the movement of the neck, and this is what keeps me awake. Of course, all of these connect in with the head and the brain. But stretching in any way helps us get out of our mind into our body, and you're more likely to experience a strong melatonin surge with that. And then as soon as you start yawning, get in bed. So you can stretch when you're ready to go to bed. So of course, melatonin is secreted when it's dark. So decreasing your blue light exposure, I think it's 2 hours is the good window that you should have between being on a device and going to bed. So between 8 and 8:30 is when we shut off the screens in our home. It really should be earlier than that, like 7:30 or 8. Hey, Natalia, thank you. And I would really love to decrease our screen time in general, but especially if you're on it at night, it is not a good habit to be doing that right before bed. So if you're having sleep problems, you may want to look into that. And then also, so if you have a child, I know it's tempting to put on a nightlight for them so that they're not frightened of the dark, but maybe just having the door open to begin with when you're still awake, they could see that you're still up. Maybe that would be comforting enough, and then turn out the lights when they're asleep. I never liked putting on a nightlight for this reason. I am actually really sensitive to any light. At night, I will wake up, and my son is really sensitive too. So we've never had a nightlight in his room. We have really dark shades, blackout shades, and we keep the room really dark. We also keep the room cooler because if you are hot, you tend to wake up more often too. So there have been studies that show that keeping your bedroom between 65 to 68 degrees is a really nice range. So these are all ways that you can help adjust your rhythm so that you can get to bed on time at 10 o'clock. But again, you need to be listening to these cues. If your body is tired, you're yawning, you're getting all these cues that melatonin is surging, you need to consciously listen to that and go to bed. There's really no other way around it, right? So hopefully you can listen to those cues. And then with time, you will be waking with the sun. Hey, Rachel, thank you for the love. So waking with the sun, again, easier said than done, especially if you need to attend a work meeting or need to get your child to school on time. I know it can be a little scary to just rely on the sun, especially with standard and daylight savings time and how that messes us all up. But there are things you can do. And of course, if you are consistently going to bed before 10, you are going to be waking up between 5 and 7 a.m. So it's good to do this over the weekend, and then hopefully during the week you will be adjusted already. But you can also, so this may take a few days, but when you wake up, go out in the sun, go out on your porch, stretch there, have your tea or coffee there. Even when it's cold, you can bundle up. If you have a dog, you'll be taking your dog for a walk anyway, right? So try to do that early. Get as much sun as you can, especially during winter when it's not out as much. So try to take advantage when it is out, soak it up, and this will help regulate your circadian rhythm. You can also eat a big protein-packed breakfast that will help get you going as well. So you want to be more active during the day. Activity too can help adjust your rhythm. So that includes exercise. I do my exercise usually before noon. Occasionally, like yesterday, I could only do it in the afternoon, but I just did a yoga practice. I didn't do any strong cardio or anything. That would keep me up. Anything that like raises your energy, if you are as sensitive as I am, it will keep you up. So try to do your exercise in the morning instead. And then resist the urge to caffeine up or even to take a nap during the day. So again, this may be easier to try to do over the weekend when there's some leeway. If you absolutely have to take a nap, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes should be enough to recharge you. I have never liked taking naps. My son hasn't either, but we are those people that if we do, we will be staying up later too. So that definitely gets us off track, and you may be the same. So those are my main tips for adjusting your circadian rhythm. Again, next week we'll be talking more about essential oils and how you can use them to help as well. with both getting to bed early and waking up, and just managing your physical, mental, emotional life in general. You may have missed this in the beginning. So yeah, next week, essential oils. The following week, we're going to be talking about Chinese medicine and acupressure that can help you sleep. And then the final Monday in January, we're going to be doing a yoga practice together. So I'm hoping that I get the space where I teach, and I could show you a quick flow that you can do at night. I really think that will be valuable for you. Thank you, Flo, for letting me know you appreciate this. If any of you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will be sure to address them. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. And I'm eager to hear how this goes for you. Hopefully just these tips will be enough to get you sleeping better. Take care. Bye-bye.